welcome back. Return of the Mac, M.A.C, Moss, Andrew, Carl, back in the building for episode 179. What's happening?
What it is. What up?
Another day.
Back at it like the jackrabbit.
Long ass day, man.
Yeah, on long days. We're in the dark days. This is the dark ages, so I understand why you feel that way.
Meaning what?
What do you mean by that?
We're in the dark ages.
This is one of those things you're not going to answer.
I'll explain later, but once we get into that topic. But we're in the dark ages.
What you got,
now.
man?
This guy, man.
What?
What I got? Shit, just still getting adjusted to the new gig. It's just funny how sometimes shit just works out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I left my old job. Was kind of like, on the fence about it, moving over to where I'm at now. But then last week, apparently the manager at my old job left too.
Everybody got out of there.
So I'm like, hey, it must have been a sign. We got out of there at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sounds like it.
Shit all going downhill. So, hey, we got up out of there. Makes me feel a little bit more, content in the mood.
Yeah, it makes that decision look a lot better no matter what happens.
Yeah, for sure. So, just still adjusting, but it's a cool job.
That's what's up.
It's not bad.
Anything crazy happened this week?
Nothing crazy, man. Still on the daddy schedule. You feel me? Up and at it every 2 to 3 hours.
I was about to say, still not getting that sleep, huh?
Yeah, every 2 to 3 hours I'm up and at it. But it's cool. Y'all seen that HBO Max show Velma?
Nah, I haven't even heard about
Velma from Flintstones?
Yeah. From Scooby-Doo, motherfucker.
I was going to say,
Scooby-Doo, my bad. I got mixed up.
Yeah, it's like
you're on a big Scooby-Doo thing right now. You brought up Scoob last week.
Did I?
I don't remember what you said.
RP Trouble. But yeah, go ahead.
After we recorded, you were talking about something about you be able to solve a mystery.
Yeah, something like that. Or something weird. I don't know. No, but this is like a adult spinoff or something. HBO Max show.
So like they did with Wednesday.
Kinda, but it's still a cartoon or whatever. But it's almost like Family Guy-ish.
So adult swim version.
Yeah. It's pretty funny, yo. I think it was pretty cool. I don't know if they have more episodes or not, but it's like I guess 5 episodes out so far on there.
Oh, so this must be the new wave. They trying to give all the female people from old cartoons their own shows and shit.
I don't know, maybe.
No, that Wednesday shit was trash.
But everybody hyped it up. I didn't really like it. I watched a couple episodes, but it wasn't. I didn't care for it as much.
I thought it was pretty good. I didn't finish it.
People loved it though.
Lost track of time, but I will. I liked it.
Yeah, I like the little spin-offs and shit like that. If you do it correctly, that's cool with me.
Oh,
it's interesting.
Dark Age Matilda and shit.
That's
all that shit was to me.
Matilda's a fire movie.
It was good.
I haven't watched it in 20 years.
Yeah, I ain't watched it since I was a kid.
Miss Trunchbull.
I remember her.
Yeah,
I remember
Matilda was that shit, man. Apparently they got like a new one out, but it's like a musical. I don't fuck with the musicals like that. Nah. Once you say musical, that shit turned me off a little bit.
Yeah, not my thing.
Like almost completely.
Yeah. You don't really have much of a shot at that point for me to be interested in the movie.
Yeah, that should just throw you off. Them motherfuckers just break into song.
Yeah. Like, well, why is this happening?
Did y'all ever watch Hamilton?
Nah.
Apparently it's something my sister told me it's something that you just have to watch. But like it's a musical, I don't want to watch it. But I heard it's very good.
Live.
Probably
be fire live.
Yeah, but one time, I can't. People watching musicals like over again. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't get that one either. I never saw it either.
It's a market. Motherfuckers really fuck with musicals. There's a lot of people to do.
I will skip past every single
females.
song. I will skip past every single song.
Ain't no point in watching
the only musical I'll watch, I'll admit it, is Grease. I'll watch Grease, bro.
I don't lie. I guess I would watch it again probably. Yeah, I saw it a long time ago.
That's not Elvis, bro.
It's like the similar time period. It's the same similar time period to me.
Yeah, I guess, but that's John Travolta.
Yeah, he looked like Elvis.
That's a good recall. I'm trying to think. There's got to be like a couple others that I've watched and enjoyed, but I can't think of them. That is one though.
Yeah.
I liked it in Disney movies, like Aladdin when they broke into songs.
Yeah,
that shit was good.
No, that's different. That's good. It's real good.
Yeah, some of it.
Yeah, a whole new world.
That's fire.
They killed that shit.
That's fire.
It depends. It depends on how it's done. It can't be like the super, like a song every fucking 10 minutes musical. You know, you give me like 4 songs throughout the movie, I might can deal with that. But you know, those like heavy, intense ones. Each impactful scene or critical moment has to have a song.
No, you need the light
related to it. Yeah, musical light.
Are kids movies like that? Is that considered a musical?
I don't know,
because they do have a lot of songs in the movies, and they are like being sung by all the characters and stuff. But I wouldn't ever think of that as a musical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see those kind of like Lion King and shit like that. I don't really consider a musical,
right?
Because I don't think it has.
I think musical has to be with like real people, though, right?
I was about to say,
once a cartoon is like kind of playful anyway, so it's like
but so a lot of them shit's a live action nowadays.
Yeah,
well, Aladdin is, so I guess maybe
Aladdin
it is.
and Lion King both.
Maybe it's not. I guess technically it would be, but you're like splitting hairs at that point. To me, it's not.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yep, you just got your musical breakdown from the Mac.
Yeah, right.
Enjoyed that.
Go watch Grease.
What a wild plug! I do like Grease.
Go watch Grease.
What a wild plug! You shock us every week with something.
What, really? Y'all motherfuckers love Grease.
I do. It's not something.
I don't love Grease. Don't say y'all. I'm not a fan of Grease.
Oh, was that?
You know the you the one that I want song?
Yeah, I heard you first. I just wanted to hear you do it again. Nah, I think it's a quality movie. I wouldn't have thought Carl would be a.
Oh, I've seen it so many times. So many times, bro.
Hilarious.
I know all of those songs for sure. I watched House Party the other day, the old one. I'm not interested in a new House Party.
I'm not either, to be honest.
Yeah, they have like
about it.
You know, like the first House Party and shit, the rap scene. That's kind of like a musical-ish. They got like a couple musical scenes in House Party or whatever, but I know all of them shits. Like,
it's a house party. It's gonna be some music.
Yeah, I mean rapping though. The new one don't have any rappers, like not as the main characters, whatever. This is normal actors. So
her Kid Play was in it though. They made an appearance.
Of course they always do that.
Yeah,
they always do that shit with the shows and movies and shit. So that they're doing like bringing back or remaking and shit like that.
It's a good idea if you're gonna do that.
Yeah, but it's also corny too.
All of those movies. I mean, I don't like any of those ideas, but I'm saying if you're gonna make the movie, I think you're getting the audience that watched the first ones, so you throw them a little bone and put the old people in it.
It's like nowadays though. It's like what ideas are new? It's like fucking none. Really,
everything's a remake.
In Hollywood, nothing. I swear.
Yeah, right.
It's so bad.
Absolutely nothing. I mean, my sample today is going to be a product, like an example of that. It's like it's nothing new.
Song.
There's several pieces to make one hit song.
I just seen that 90s show on Netflix as like a remake of that 70s show with a whole bunch of the same characters. So there's no interest.
They have that 90s show?
Just was out of Netflix recently.
I watched in the 70s show before. What's that dude? Did Your Mama do? Your Mama. When he in it?
Yeah. What's his name? Wilbur Baltimore?
Yeah.
Your Mama.
Yo, that show was...
That MTV show was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good show, though. Well, it was like rap battling before rap battling was like...
It was entertaining.
Really huge, yeah.
The most corny but entertaining.
Yeah.
MTV's specialty back at that time, doing just super corny shows
that
were like
different
entertaining somehow.
They was in their bag, I ain't gonna lie.
You know that shit wasn't real. Nobody got slapped on Your Mama.
No.
Somebody gets slapped in the streets.
Well, all of it, none of it was real.
completely.
After I found out Pimp My Ride was fake, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That's another one. That's just one of the most corny shows ever, but it was
that
dope.
shit was fucked up. You like, man,
The worst.
This man down bad, and you give him a fucking hot tub in the back of his shit. Like, yo, what the fuck?
A whole aquarium in the back seat. What the fuck you need this for in your car?
Immediately, what I think of every time is the aquarium. It's like,
what is aquarium?
X, what are we doing?
Yeah, I thought that shit was such a bad idea.
Your ride.
So stupid.
They don't do anything with the engine. They just hook up the outside of like
that shit could break down as soon as it pull
It's
out.
still a piece of shit. Like, yo, this shit got like 8,000 miles, like 800,000 miles on it and shit or something like that.
I remember a few times the car was so bad that they actually had to give them a whole new vehicle.
I seen that. It was like 1 or 2 times, but other than that, they ain't do shit with the engine ever.
No. Just gonna give you some rims.
Yes.
And something stupid in the back seat.
4-inch rims.
Got a mini pinball machine.
Right. Some stupid shit. Like, he loves cotton candy. We put a cotton candy machine in the back. Like, who the fuck wants that? A grown man with a cotton candy machine? This dude looks like a fucking pedophile or something. You know, he's popping that trunk in the neighborhood. Like, nah, bro, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
so
terrible.
bad. So bad.
Terrible.
Good shit.
Well, now we went down the MTV trail.
Musicals and MTV. We're out here, son.
Yeah.
We're getting random today.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? What topics we hitting today?
Let me get started on this football.
Let's do it, man.
Straight to
We're
it.
gonna start Saturday games first, or we're gonna work backwards this time.
I don't know. You put a little twist on it. What do you
I'm
think?
trying to just mix it up.
Oh, yeah, why not?
What do you think?
Let's go backwards.
Backwards?
Let's go backwards.
from most recent.
All right. I'm
Most
with
recent
it.
first.
Cowboys got their ass handed to them.
It was a really good game.
I don't think they got their ass handed to them. I thought it was competitive for the most part. Like, was it like a 6-6 ball game going into halftime? Is that what it was? Or
Yeah.
I mean, even till the end,
Or
it was a
9-6.
7-point game, and Dallas had the ball with like 4 minutes left or something, and couldn't get a drive together.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about the last play of the game. I didn't see it. I was on the road, so I was listening to
man.
an XM, and I didn't really hear the last play of the game because I just knew Dallas was about to lose.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
When I seen they had Zeke at center
At center,
with no other lineman, I was like, oh, this is about to fuck up. You got nobody blocking?
he was terrible at it.
He got drove into the ground. He got smashed. I thought it was
Gave up
cool.
a pressure. It's funny. Like, Zeke's last snap as a Cowboy is a snap as a Cowboy. Like,
Is that the case?
oh, it's got to be his last snap.
Oh, really?
If I'm the, I mean, no. I
Tony
mean,
Pollard broke his leg, so.
if you the Cowboys though, knowing what you,
I'm saying I don't know his contract thing, so I didn't know, like, are they in a position where they have an out to be able to get out of it at this point without it being like a complete cat killer kind of thing?
I'm sure. I mean, he's been in this deal for a while. They probably paid out most of the guarantees into
Probably
it.
so, yeah.
So I think I think it'll probably be an easy cut, but it's the logical cut that they're gonna have to make as a team.
I would think so.
based on how important he is at this point. He's really just a name.
How unimportant he is at this point.
Yeah, right. He's really just a name, you know what I'm saying, for them.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott. Not to say that he's not talented anymore. I think he can still play, but the way that they use him, the amount that you pay him, he's gone.
Yeah, the value is just not there.
Now it's all about the stars, though. Like you said, they want that name on the field. That sells tickets.
Not when he ain't scoring touchdowns. When the other dude doing it, like, I don't know. I'm not buying it. I think, they move on.
If they can do it contractually, I would agree. I think that makes the most sense. But the play itself, other than it being hilarious, the way it played out, I thought it was a cool idea in that if you know you're about to be doing laterals all up and down the field, let's get as few of these big goofy linemen that are going to be no help in this anyway. You got a 1% chance of this play working no matter what you do. I thought it was at least a cool concept to let's get Zeke out here instead of a lineman. Maybe you put a couple of guys here, so it's not Zeke just by himself trying to stop the one rusher. But when he throws the quick little slant route or whatever, and dude just immediately sticks on
it sounded good until he threw it to the one guy that couldn't lateral to nobody.
Yeah. He just instantly got hit, and the play was done. It was like, that was the fastest play I've ever seen.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. He got blown the fuck up, and Zeke was hiking the ball.
Yeah,
this is it. Just looks a bad look. It's one of those moments where you're overthinking football. Like, I get it. Like you said, it's the last one of the game.
It's such a minor
spitball and you're trying to throw some shit. I get that, but Zeke hiking the ball at that point, you didn't overthought the game. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was over. Nothing they could do.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so like there was never going to be a good chance that they get the touchdown at the end, but. Dalton Schultz catching like a 18-yard pass or something on the play right before and not getting his feet down. He kind of casually just caught it and turns out of bounds without putting 2 feet.
Was it like super easy? All he had to do was drop his feet.
There was nobody anywhere close.
I didn't see it.
He didn't even have to drag or nothing. He was kind of going out towards the sideline, caught it, and as he spun, he just never put the other foot down in bounds. But if they had caught that, then they're at the 45, the other 45. So you're looking at a 55-yard pass for a potential Hail Mary shot, which is probably not going to work either. But it's at least a legitimate play you can run rather than being on the 25. They just had zero chance.
On the radio, I do think I heard that play, but I heard it as it was a direct snap to Zeke. That's what I thought.
Oh, gosh.
Not that Zeke was snapping the fucking ball.
That's funny.
I'm not thinking that. Like, that's the last thought that's happening. So, just weird. But
very weird.
Shout out to San Fran, man.
But what I really wanted to have happen. So at the beginning of the game, the first touchdown that the Cowboys get, the extra point gets blocked. After
that dude
Maher went, 1 for 5 or something the week before? Missed 4 extra points.
4 in a row, yeah. First time ever.
So the first touchdown of the game, he comes in for the extra point, gets blocked. But the block saved his life because it was way left. As soon as he kicked it, there was no chance it was not going to be this anyway. So what I really wanted at the end of the game was them to get a touchdown to make it 19-18. And then you got to decide, are we running this dude back out here again, or are we going for 2 and trying to get the dub? It would have just been the craziest ending.
I would go for 2.
We got to go for 2.
I would go for 2 for sure and say, fuck it,
Probably so.
You got to miss that many times. You can't leave the game in his hands or his foot.
But the weird thing is he hit both of his field goals.
He did.
It's like he's got a mental block on the extra points.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what's up with him, but he clearly need an off season to figure that shit out, and they're probably bringing
an off season.
Yeah, they're gonna bring in some competition or something like that.
But that's like did you see that they had brought somebody in the week before?
Yeah, but at that point, you're not making a kicker change unless
probably not. But the funny thing is that what I heard was that they had like a competition thing, kickoff or something, and dude missed like 3 out of 6. The guy that they brought in, and they were just like, all right, fuck it. We'll just keep riding.
He sucks. Take him off the list.
Yeah, it probably would look worse if you bring in a new kicker and he just as awful as the last one.
He's worse. This dude sucks.
But he was good all year, wasn't he? Like, this wasn't a thing until the last 2 weeks of the season. That's crazy. That's like real playoffs, sports psychology issue.
Yeah, playoffs and shit.
Yeah, that pressure.
He just hollered at the team therapist.
Something, he's going to have to do something different. But the game itself, though, I thought Dallas looked really good, to be honest. Their defense looked amazing. And there were, again, same as last week, like there were plays that Purdy looked like a young quarterback that was like tentative or too happy feet or whatever, but for the most part, they were just making really great plays. They were in the backfield constantly, and any of the like slippery Debo, McCaffrey type dudes, they were making the tackles, even if it was shoestring. Like, they were not giving up the extra yardage that you come to expect those guys to have. So I thought they really balled out.
I respected Purdy for that, because I feel like he took that pressure well, because they was on his ass pretty much the whole game, and I think he got sacked a couple of times, didn't have any turnovers though. But you always say, like, if this quarterback had this many weapons, they could do that. That is a team where you could say that, where it's like, Yeah, Brock Purdy is what he is. He's 6-0 as a starter, or 7-0 now as a starter. But when you got guys, all them weapons around them, and the way the plays are written up by fucking what's his name? Shanahan. They can make some shit happen. You don't need this man to throw bombs down the field and all to make them plays like that. You just got to have him be able to get the ball to your guys, and they make plays.
Yeah, right. But I mean, game. And I don't know. We'll get into this in a second, but ultimately that's what it is. Is can you deliver? Because it's guys running open every fucking where every Sunday, but it's some guys that can't deliver the pill to them when they're open, or even recognize that they're going to be open, or get it to them in a timely fashion when they're open. Brock Purdy's doing that, and that's the biggest thing I got respect for. Yeah. In this game, is he ever going to be a top 10 quarterback? I don't fucking know, but within this system right now, the motherfucker's balling. He's doing what he needs to do to win football games.
His numbers are better than Jimmy G's was. So, like, just for comparison's sake, in that regard. Yeah, I mean, the win certainly helped make you look extra great. But, I mean, what they were talking last week.
Jimmy G's been here. He's been to the NFC Championship before, but he hasn't looked this good along the way.
Yeah. Well, I think it was last week because they were talking more about, there hadn't been a playoff game for them yet. So they were talking about the regular season stats. And, like, statistically, in those last 6 or 7 games or whatever it was that he had started, he was, like, leading the league in most categories. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, obviously the weapons have to do a ton with that. But the fact that he did so much more with the same weapons than what Jimmy G was doing, I think he's a legitimate quarterback. Like you said, I don't know how good he ends up being, but
he can play.
He's impressive.
Yeah, he can clearly play, even if it's just within the scheme. I'm sure they'll keep him around in it for a while,
right,
and see what they can do, especially if they keep it advancing and winning football games this way. But and then they're built the right way. They got a defense. I think both teams in the AFC or NFC are like built like that. They got a defense to kind of back up the young quarterback. But the young quarterback's making plays too, and scoring points. I think they'll have to score more than 19 points against the Eagles.
Oh, for sure.
But we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Kittle kind of went off, and
he's a beast.
He was, particularly in like the fourth quarter, he just seemed like he was the one catching every important pass that they had. Mm-hmm. That dude has got to be one of the most fun people in the NFL. He's just a goofball.
Yeah.
Mid-game, like, important plays and stuff, and he's, like, making faces at the camera. Like, how are you looking up at the sky cam, like, specifically doing goofy shit after the game? They're interviewing him and stuff. He's just a nut. He's just a hilarious dude.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. That dude, you get him the ball. He's, like, super physical.
Yeah.
When he gets it, too. So, yeah, they got great players offensively over there.
Stacked.
Yeah, but like you guys said though, Dallas did a good job overall. If you look at like their rushing stats, nobody averaged really over 3.5 yards per carry. That's like really good. Pretty much, I mean, Kittle was their leading receiver, but he only had 95 yards. So it's not like they were snapping. And of course, the points overall says that they held them to 19 points.
They're getting mad pressure.
Yeah, right.
But wasn't opportunity or time to get to that.
That's what I said. You pretty much have to do, and it was impressive that Brock Purdy doesn't throw a pick or anything like that. In the stat line. Yeah, right. But you look on the other side of the field, and Dak threw some terrible interceptions,
terrible picks.
I was gonna say all of his interceptions to me were like the ones that you see. It's because of the pressure. He's making a terrible decision.
Yeah.
It's not trying to force a deep ball and somebody makes a nice play. Yeah. That first pick on the sideline was horrible.
Yeah.
The other dude ran the route for the defender. He only had 2, right?
Yeah, he had 2.
He had 2. The other one was pretty like a quick little stop or hitch route that he just wasn't paying attention to the linebacker. And then in the last drive, he threw one that should have been an easy pick 6 to the linebacker, exact same play, and he just dropped it. But there's just plays where he's obviously terrified of the rush and trying to get rid of the ball as soon as his guy is open, not paying any attention to the dudes around him. He didn't have a very good game, that's for sure.
At all.
Yeah.
Mr. Hot and Cold.
You can't. I don't. Dak's a guy like he's definitely a pretty good quarterback, but he's just not great. I don't know if he ever will be. I think you'll be seeing the ceiling of Dak Prescott at this point. I don't know. I think you really got to surround him with like some talent there, and it just makes it again the question of why did you get rid of Amari Cooper in the first place? Like, you clearly need guys like this.
Yeah, CD was going off. He had a really good game.
I mean, yeah, CD's nice, but everybody got 2 or 3 wide receivers now that are pretty good. If you're going to be a contender, look at all the people who are pretty much in it right now. You know, they got weapons around them. So
they picked up T.Y. Hilton.
Oh yeah, what a stud! If this was 2014, it would be a different thing.
I don't like. I hate the Dak discussions for the most part, because I get the criticism and he deserves it and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback, but there's 20 teams that would love to have that dude, if not more. Like the criticism that he gets are because he's a Cowboys quarterback. And
you think so?
I definitely do. Statistically, he is a guy that the majority of the NFL would like to have. There's a handful of teams that have the top tier quarterbacks who wouldn't switch out places, of course. But I was looking at his stats today. I mean, he averages basically he had one season where he missed the majority of the year. Outside of that, he averages I believe it was at 4,000 yards, 28 interceptions, 13 picks. It's like those are not
28
numbers.
Touchdowns.
Yeah.
20 touchdowns.
What did I say?
28 interceptions, 13.
Yeah, that's rough. 28 touchdowns, 13 picks. Right. Those are not numbers that you would look at ever and say, like, this is a trash quarterback. But because he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys and he hasn't been able to reach the...
I wouldn't say he's trash. I think he just is what he is. It's one of them things where it's like...
What is he, though?
He's a hot and cold guy. He'll look fire one week and the next week he'll look like he ain't shit.
Don't you like him?
Inconsistent. He's an inconsistent.
You don't think him and Derek Carr would be similar?
No, I do.
In that regard, like,
I do. But we have
like
me and you had higher opinions of Derek Carr.
I don't know if I have a higher opinion of him. I think
we do compared to Moss. When we had these discussions, Moss has a very different.
I thought you were meaning like compared to Dak. No.
I think they are fairly comparable.
Same level. That's all I was saying.
And I think Cousins is in the same category. I think both of them are better than Cousins. But I think they're the same category of guys. Like, you can say that they make bad decisions and nobody's going to argue with you. You can say they're not a top tier quarterback. Nobody's going to argue with you. Mm-hmm. But the discussion is usually
half the league will want them.
Usually the discussion is they're trash, and I'm just like. Sure, if we want to have Dak versus Mahomes discussions, then yeah, he's a trash quarterback. Right. If you're looking at him as an overall quarterback, he's a really good quarterback.
Yeah, you can't play in the NFL and start for 6 to 8 years or 6 to 10 years and be trash
with good numbers.
Yeah, right. You can't then call them trash. That adjective doesn't apply.
I mean, it's kind of. Like I said, I ain't saying he trash, but I think like by default, because it's finding a decent quarterback is hard to come by anyway. So you got a guy that's putting up that type of numbers, you're not gonna let him go just strictly off his numbers, but. If they had an opportunity to get somebody better, they would. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they had somebody to swap it out, you gonna make that decision without a doubt. But because
but then it's like, who is that?
Anybody else in line, we gotta stick with Dak. You know what I'm saying?
Who is that gonna be?
Yeah,
exactly.
Seems like an impossibility.
Like, you stuck between the place where it's like with the cousin shit, like. You might have reasons why you want to get rid of him, but he's putting up good numbers every year, so it's like you got to keep him. Like, you ain't gonna find nobody else better at this point in time unless you draft somebody as beast. But you never get a good draft spot because your team is always in the playoffs.
And you never know with the draft. I mean, Cousins and this is a good comparison for both of them because they were both 4th round draft picks. I think both of them, Cousins and Dak, they were like almost the same guy. But yeah, you're not gonna find another Cousins or Dak in the 4th round traditionally.
Right.
You don't find starters at quarterback, normally after the first, top 32 picks or something like that. Right. Normally is how it goes. It's definitely outliers in there, but you're not just going to spend another 4th round pick and get another Kirk Cousins and say, come in here, take some snaps and win us some games. Go 11-2 to start. It's not going to happen.
Right. Agree. Well, how would you compare him to Romo?
I think I like Romo better.
But do you think they're in the same general category?
It's crazy. I was having this talk about.
Yeah,
they're both really good quarterbacks. They didn't end up having this playoff success that really elevates them. I just think the sports discussions. This is not recent. I mean, this has happened over years now. But the LeBrons, the Bradys, the Mahomes, these guys have just ruined the ability for people to have discussions about players without their trash or the GOAT. And there's a whole gang of these quarterbacks that fall in a completely different category. And I just don't like the trash narrative on Dak. He looked really bad, though.
I was talking to my homeboy earlier today about fucking Romo. Randomly, we were just talking about football and shit. Romo was just like an overachiever. He was not supposed to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
He became that, made a couple hot plays, made some big plays happen, but then when he was trash, people held him up to this high bar because he came in so hot. And that was like, oh, damn, he really not that good. But it's like, he wasn't supposed to be in this position anyway. So when he fucks up,
Romo
you should look at it like,
though.
He was an overachiever. He wasn't when he was
Didn't
brought
he throw
in.
like 42 touchdowns and 10 interceptions one season or something?
Yeah, he also had one of the greatest receivers of all time, TL.
So now don't try to use my argument and say why somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then not agree with me when I use that same argument.
I'm saying he was an overachiever that put a screen on him to make people think he was more than what he was. And when he fucked up, it was like, damn, what the fuck is wrong with Romo?
His numbers look very similar to what I saw with Dak. He had 36 touchdowns his second year being a starter.
Okay.
Outside of that, he was around 26 to 31 the majority of his seasons that he played full,
that's great,
full years.
I mean, that's right, and that's what you'll sign up any quarterback for that. Right,
yeah,
for sure.
I don't think there's that much difference, and I see Cowboys fans talk about it, and they're just so upset with how bad they've been for so long, or how they haven't been able to win a championship in so long.
7 straight losses.
A lot of them,
San Francisco, or no, that's for Mike McCarthy. He has 7 straight losses
as a Packer as well.
The 49ers.
Gotcha.
I think in the postseason. That's awful.
Yeah, that is rough. That is rough.
I'm sorry I cut you off there.
That was it. There wasn't anything much more to talk about. I see a lot of Dallas fans that kind of look favorably on Romo, but not on Dak.
Yeah.
Anything else from that game?
No, man.
No.
Dallas did what they had to do. Had defense held up. They got the dub.
Yeah. Defense, real deal for them.
Yeah, for sure. Working our way backwards, as Carl suggested. Bills Bengals.
Big upset.
Boom.
This game was a shocker to me.
I think it was a shocker to everybody. Like, not the fact that the Bengals won, but in dominant fashion, all 4 quarters dominant. Though,
It wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close. It was really the worst game.
Well, that's not true.
Hold on.
Of the day? You say
of the day. Sorry.
That's fair.
Very similar to the other one that we'll get to later, though.
Yeah.
Very similar as far as, like, contest. Like, did you ever think this team was...
I'll go with that. They didn't look
no
like
contest.
they were ever gonna... There was a point when... At halftime, it was 17-7, and they were getting ball back.
Yeah.
It's like, you put together one decent drive here, and you're right back in the game. I think they ended up getting a field... They did. They got a field goal right outside the half. On the start of the second half, made it 17-10, and it was like you know that you just need one turnover somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody fumbles it, you got the snow going crazy. Somebody fumbles, you get a pick, whatever it is, you get one stop and answer, and the momentum would fully shift at that point. You're at home.
And you're at home. The crowd would go fucking crazy.
Just get the snowball going, pun intended, and they just could not get Burrow stopped. They couldn't get, I don't even want to say just Burrow, they couldn't get the Bengals off the field.
Nope.
Yeah,
when
they
needed
really
to
sustain drives either, though. Like,
nah, they looked really bad.
They were, I mean, they got them placed, like, they got themselves in no man's land a lot. And it was a point where, like, can we go for it? Do we punt it? A lot of the times, they had no traction. And that's why, like, initially coming into it, always when we bring up the Bills, what I say with them is just that.
Running game.
You gotta have a running game.
It's snow falling down
It's
crazy.
snow out here.
You gotta be able to run it.
I mean, you gotta be able to run the ball. You can't just be this team that's gonna chuck it 50 yards deep all the time and rely on Josh Allen to either chuck it or run pretty much every play. Like, that's just, it doesn't. It's not sustainable like that kind of offense. The entire time. So you got to have a real deal established run game, and they were never able to do that. And again, it's just a commitment issue to it. Like they're not interested in even attempting it. I don't know if that's how they feel about their backs, but I view them as decent players. Singletary, I think he's a pretty good player.
Scored last week.
And the other dude has looked better the last couple of weeks of the season. I wasn't paying enough attention early on. I don't know if that was a full season thing, but he looks solid. Cook, you said his
James Cook, he's pretty good.
Yeah, you gotta get these guys the ball. And man, their defense got fucked up all day.
But I think you might have said that in the chat, how early in the game, we want a lot of snow coming down, but as the game progressed, it started to get heavier. And the Bengals took full advantage of that shit in the first quarter, going up 2 scores off the bat, with Burrow putting them up. So then from that point on, the snow got even heavier. And then they just started handing the ball to Mixon. And Mixon was just going off the rest of the day.
He was gashing them, but even they're playing in the same element. So I don't really think the snow was a big factor. It's just that guys
late in the game.
Guys were running wide open.
I gotta take on this, and it's not an excuse. The Bengals won. They were the better team by far, but I think the snow played against Buffalo's favor.
It did.
I feel like it helped the Bengals O-line situation, because that was the reason I thought they were going to get dominated.
Yeah.
And when it was snowing the way it was, I think it made it even easier to commit fully to, we're going to run this ball when you got multiple guys missing from your offensive line starters. And I don't know. I don't think they ever got to take advantage of that. They didn't really get that much pressure on Burrow.
Not much.
No.
It was shocking.
Shit, the fucking Bills O-line looked like they was more fucked up than the Bengals.
They got dominated.
They was on Allen's ass every play.
Yeah, it was definitely a lopsided game. Again, just every touchdown was like the first one, Jamar Chase by himself in the middle of the field. How does that happen?
That was such a beautiful route. He
broke it off.
He just completely.
It was just so smart.
Gave up on the cross and was like, "I'm just gonna stand here."
Yeah,
nobody's right here.
They clearly running cover 2, and the linebacker didn't carry him up the seam. So he nobody's around me. I can just stop right here. And Burrow held it enough to recognize it and literally just dumped it off in the zone to him.
So easy money.
So I'm looking like, damn, how does Jamar Chase end up that wide open? That should just never happen, you know? One of the things that's not going to happen is at least he going to make us look stupid, because we're going to have 2 or 3 bodies on him, and he's just going to have to make a fucking play.
Yeah.
Put you on a poster, but we ain't going to say we didn't try over this month. So I don't know. And then I think the second one was the Hayden Hurst touchdown that was like, wide open. That might have been like the third.
The fake receiver screen.
Yeah.
They bit on so hard. And he just runs the wheel up the sideline. That was beautiful.
Schemed up.
Romo was killing them, and it made a lot of I didn't play football, so I noticed some of this stuff, but Romo was just killing them for being in zone at all.
Yeah.
He was like, in this snow, you give a quick little glance or pump fake any one direction, and you can't move and then come back to where you were supposed to be. He was like, they should have been a man from the beginning. They seemed to make a little bit of an adjustment later on, but like you said, it was 14-0 before you could even blink.
Yeah, quick.
It's a beatdown, absolute beatdown.
Yeah, I think it is just one of them things. It's hard to run zone against them anyway, because they just got guys that can. If he get any kind of time, then you're pretty much gonna be fucked. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Burrow,
like I said, thorough beating.
Number 2.
Yeah.
2 in the league.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same thing that I said last year about Burrow, when I said that you can't not make an argument now that he's not top 5. So, I mean, it's the same thing for him being top 2. If you want to say that, then you can make the argument for it. And it's hard for somebody to disagree with you at this point. But to me personally, I wouldn't put him as my number 2 quarterback in the league, but it just depends on what you're looking for there.
I'm not going to argue this. We did it already, and I think this is a pointless argument.
People didn't see the argument, so we got to.
They didn't
give him a little bit.
I mean, I don't think that you can make an argument that he's not. When we had a fairly long discussion about this in the group chat, and in my opinion, your take is just based on kind of personal preference. I test the guys that you like more is a little bit of my opinion.
And a little Bengals hate. You hate that they shining a little bit right now. I get it.
Oh, no, I do. I certainly hate the Bengals. But, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I do still view football as a team sport. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, I mean, I think that he has the best collective of weapons that we probably seen anybody have.
Yeah, but this is the first year that you couldn't make the same argument for Mahomes. You've never held it against Mahomes when he's been loaded with weapons.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he had Tyreek Hill, of course, and Travis Kelce. But the trio and the running back.
They got about 6 guys, speed demons that make plays.
I mean, but they want, like, household names.
Even if
like
it's just those two, like that's a hell of a downplay. Well, you got Tyreek and Kelce. But I mean,
don't get me wrong. You need to have an explosive offense. You need good weapons. So it's just saying, like, you don't have to be the most talented. Like, you don't have to be the most talented quarterback to necessarily be the best quarterback. Tom Brady did it for years. Peyton Manning did it for years. So I'm not saying that Joe Burrow can't technically be the best quarterback. All I'm saying is just talent-wise, he's not that for me, so I wouldn't consider him top 2 on my list because I think it's other guys that's more talented.
Yeah, but this...
So, I mean, I think that's a fair argument. That's all I'm saying is if you substitute the X's, because I feel like, anytime you get in these top 3, top 4 conversations, these guys are, exchangeable in a sense. So I feel like if you substitute one of these guys and put them in Joe Burrow's situation, then they would shine just as bright.
I think probably go ahead.
No, go ahead. I've talked a lot and I got a lot more to say.
It kind of like it comes down to like you don't put the winning on the quarterback a lot. You put it on it's the team. Wins are team thing, which it is, but it's still like when we talking about the greatest in the game or the best in the game, the winning has to play a part in it. So you go into the AFC Championship back-to-back years, that has to push you in a whole nother level, and with your production and how you playing with your team or whatever, it puts you in that different discussion. So when you talk about Herbert and Lamar Jackson, that's where they fall off. They don't have nothing in that category to add to it to put in that top 3 situation to me. That's where it moves.
Yeah, but Lamar Jackson has a higher...
Mahomes had all these stats and all these wild throws, but he couldn't get it out of the first playoff game each year. It would be the same thing for me. Yeah, he's talented and shit, but damn, you can't make it past get the one playoff win. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it changes the conversation for me.
You just got to acknowledge, though, but at the same time, you can acknowledge that he has more weapons at his disposal than Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert.
Sure.
100%.
So that's all I'm saying.
But this is my point. This is why I keep saying, like, your argument is just an imaginary, eye test, talent, abstract, I think these guys might be better. There are actual information that we have. We can't give them props for what they could do if they had a better... I mean, that's a nice discussion that we can have separately. But anytime we have a discussion on any sports... We're looking at statistics. We're looking at who's the top in these certain categories. And I agree with you that generally speaking, when we do it in basketball, we do it in football, there's usually about 3 or 4 guys that are in this whole top elite that one might be the highest scorer, the other one, you know what I'm saying? I do think there are some interchangeableness to that.
All of these quarterbacks are interchangeable.
But when we have that discussion, particularly in basketball, it's the same in football because it happens with Mahomes and Brady and all that.
Yeah.
Once we get to that top tier and we're like, these 4 or 5 guys are all the top talent at their position, it then goes into like, who's been the most productive in the postseason? Who has championship? There are things that we go to next. And I think your argument for it is just, these guys could be, they might be. We don't know because they don't have the same weapons. I agree they don't have the same weapons. But we have to go off of what's been done.
It comes a point in time where you just have to accept the facts are the facts. But I feel like it's so young in all of these players' careers that we don't know what it's going to be when we get to year 10 of this thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's a future projection.
Right. All I'm saying, we're watching it grow. I'm sure you can say that right now, but what I'm saying is just, all right, let's just watch how it plays out. Over time, it's going to be a thing where it's a lot like the Jordan conversation or the LeBron conversation with Jordan. It's going to be stupid to say that LeBron's not the best player over the course of time just because he's going to have the accolades for it. So if you collect the accolades...
It's not the same at all, because the reason that that's a stupid argument is because we're talking about two players that are at completely different peak points of their career. One is complete, and now the one is LeBron's now close to complete. But we've had these discussions 10 years ago when he was only 10 years into the league. We're talking about a bunch of guys that are relatively close in the amount of time they've been in the league. That my what I said to you yesterday is there's two ways to assess it: either future projections and eye test, or what they've done now. And you didn't give any ground on that, but you just said that what you're basing this off of is what could happen the next 10 years. The discussion we were having yesterday, and I think we're having right now, is right now he is the second best quarterback in the league.
Yeah. That could change.
You just said the 10-year thing.
That could
throw
change.
that out.
But at this point,
right now,
he's that.
Sure. I mean, but I said I don't disagree with that, because you can certainly make the argument for it, but me personally, I wouldn't say that. But I don't disagree with it. Sure.
All right. I mean, that's a little cop-out, but I ain't going to press you on it. If you got a different opinion,
sure, but like I said, I mean, and the weapons thing isn't a cop-out, because, again, the guy has to... Somebody has to get them the ball. Like the same thing we were talking about Brock Purdy, but again, it don't make Brock Purdy the best quarterback in the NFL, but he's playing like one. So is he or is he not? Only time can tell us these things, though. You know what I'm saying? When the weapons go away and stuff like that. But all the greats had weapons. When you look at Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Dallas Clark, Stokely, all of these guys. So I'm not saying that as a knock on Joe Burrow. I'm not saying that as a knock on Joe Burrow. I'm just pointing out the fact that, man, his collective of talent is elite and probably the best I've seen in a decade. Just offensively, from a skill position standpoint. And the Bengals are a good team.
Fair enough. Let's keep it moving. I was going to ask about Josh. Let's do Josh Allen real quick. There has been a little bit of stuff I've been seeing today where he's starting to get some criticism in that they've been multiple years now to the game right before the AFC Championship, I believe.
Yep.
And they keep getting beat. So there's some criticism being had now of he can't win the big game. I'll just start it off. I think that's an unfair criticism in that he's losing to Burrow and Mahomes in these seasons as he's having to happen.
The top two right now.
He could he could be the third, fourth, fifth best quarterback, whatever you have him ranked, but he's top five regardless. So I think it's a bit silly to just have the Monday after reaction. He can't win the big game since he hasn't, but it is what it is.
I mean, it's fact.
I do give that argument some against Lamar. So
yeah, but I'll say if you got to give it up to him if that's what your stance. I don't necessarily feel like that towards him. I feel like, again, the same kind of argument I would give for Lamar is that you asking him to do a little too much. You need to simplify, get him a run game, or in Lamar's situation, you need to get him a pass game. So it's kind of like yin and yang, or opposites there. But you got to put if that's how you feel about Lamar, then you have to feel the same way about Josh Allen, in my opinion. Because who's Lamar going up against when he's losing these games a lot of the time too?
He's losing in the first round usually, and my issues with Lamar are much more about his ability as a passer. But I don't want to do a Lamar discussion.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you got to keep the same energy.
That's fine if you want me to. I don't, but it is what it is. Do you have any thoughts on Josh Allen? Your big win. Your big win is your legacy. If you can't win, it's big problems.
They always end up with great regular season records at the end of the year for the past couple of seasons. It's something to be questioned, but at the same time, he's coming up against the best. But if you're going to be elevated at some point, to be the best, you got to beat the best. So at some point, he has to break that threshold and beat a Burrow or beat a Mahomes in the playoff, because you're going to see him for the rest of your career. They're going to be there. You're going to have to battle through them. So if you never end up beating them, then you're going to have to be in question. But I think it may be a little too early. He's played well, snow game, whatever you want to give reasons to it. But at some point, if he continues to never break that threshold, then another conversation needs to be had. But I think it may be too early to say, like, oh, he's not good enough or something like that. He's still a top 5 guy to me. So, future will tell how that plays out.
I'm still sticking by my stance of Cam Newton in his prime is better than Josh Allen. Sticking by that, but I think he's a great player. He's got to play on time better. I think ultimately, but again, I just think they ask him to do too much, and you're just not going to get a 50-yard passing touchdown every drive. So
yeah, well, they got dominated yesterday. I don't think that's on his shoulders specifically, but.
Yeah,
the year before when they got knocked out by KC, there's literally nothing more that he could have done.
Yeah,
He put together one of the best games that you could ever have. So I think some of the criticism's silly, but it is what it is.
Definitely.
Eagles Giants Saturday night. Continuing to work backwards.
Yeah, terrible game.
They are what we thought they are.
Yeah. There was from the gambling perspective, there's a lot of people that were excited about. Getting Giants, it was like plus 8.5 or something like that. And I understood the idea of they've played really tough against everybody they've played. Mm-hmm. Maybe they can keep it relatively close and stuff. And there was questions about, how healthy is Hurts. Well, the Eagles answered that real quick. And as soon as they got on the field, there was no question.
Instantly, didn't they? Did they run the kickback or something? Or
I don't think so.
What was the first touchdown? Because I didn't see the beginning. I was on XM for that too.
Yep. Got it.
Oh, it happened so fast.
They just walked it down the field. I mean, it was 18 yards a pop. No. They hit Devontae Smith for like a 50-yarder on the second play of the game or something to get down to the 25 or something like that.
Have they played in any close games against the Giants this year?
No, they hung up like 40-something on the last game.
Well, week 17 they played when they weren't playing anybody and they lost by like 8
to 16. Yeah.
So I think that kind of led people to believe maybe it'll be a tough battle. But I mean, their defense is the only defense that I think you could even consider that is better than the Niners, and they just dominated.
That's the best defense in the league.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's I think it's easy. They can get out to the 70 sacks, some shit like that. Is that
That's
what
crazy.
they had?
That's crazy.
70?
That's wild.
It's nuts.
That's every quarterback getting beat up. Like, that's what you could expect.
Right.
Yeah.
Your quarterback gonna get fucked up. I think every player in the front 7 or on the D-line or something got 7 sacks at least.
That's wild.
What?
That's crazy.
And then on the back end,
These motherfuckers got a top 10 pick.
yeah, it's
That's the team with the loaded team.
Yep.
The loaded team. I'm here to say it now. They got the best front office in football, hands down.
It's hard to argue that at this point in time.
Yeah, they got the best front office in football.
Even when you look at their backup, like they probably have one of the best backup quarterbacks that you could have in place.
Yeah,
Minshew didn't play very well, but of the backup quarterbacks, that even in that category,
he got a nickname. Minshew Mania.
Minshew Mania is fire.
Yeah,
Minshew Mania is fire.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't got that.
Speaking of betting, when you was talking about the scoring and shit, I always forget, and I'm reminded in the game that Boston Scott is the fucking giant killer, giant slayer, whatever they call him, whatever. Where he put up like 9 or 10 touchdowns against them, or something like that.
He has 18 career touchdowns, and he has 11 against the Giants.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's
Every
crazy.
time it happens, I'm like, why do I always forget?
Was he on that practice squad or something at one point?
I don't know.
It is.
I was listening to something today, and they were like, I think it's straight up as the Eagles just trolling the Giants.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like no matter what, he's gonna score against y'all. He's he's their third string back because Gainwell, I think is the backup. Gainwell comes in for whatever reason.
Gainwell had a great game.
Scott gets a touchdown every game. It's hilarious to do that to a divisional opponent.
They have to do it on purpose because there's no reason to do it. Give it to Miles Sanders a game with. Like, why y'all putting in the third string on the 3-yard line to run it in? But he always scores every game. Every time he plays.
Daniel Jones came back down a little bit. He had a great first, performance in the playoffs, but it's just a tough defense to go against.
Yeah,
he was terrible.
Well, they didn't block for him very well. Okay, you just mentioned how many sacks the Eagles have, so he's under pressure. And they don't have any good receivers.
They don't.
I told y'all what he did to the Vikings is not even worth looking at because their defense is so bad. But he has nobody to throw to. You can't put Slayton out there versus Slay and whoever their next best guy is, Hodgins or whatever, versus Bradbury. I mean, it's not fair. These guys are not going to get open.
Yeah, it was complete domination.
I told y'all in the game, after the Eagles had went up a little bit, they were just trying to throw every play. And it's like, why are y'all not giving the ball to Saquon? It's like,
this is your playmaker.
I get it, but he's y'all's best player on your team. There's no reason why he has only 6 touches for the whole first half or 7 touches or something like that for the whole first half. Open up the first half or second half of the game, they go on a long drive, he has a big run, and they score their first touchdown, their only touchdown. It's like, y'all could have did this earlier. At least he would have gave y'all a chance. Not saying they would win, but y'all could have stuck in the game a little bit instead of just trying to lean on Daniel Jones throwing to Slayton and Richie James and shit. Like, nah, it wasn't going to work.
It was not a good look. I had a question for y'all about it. Did y'all see A.J. Brown on the bench at the end of the game?
I did. See him pouting.
I thought this was such a bitch move. I don't want to say I lost all respect for Brown, but I did lose some respect for him. And they're up.
I didn't see that.
They're up 32-7 with the last 3 minutes of the game or something. He's pouting on the bench. And the coach comes over, kind of give him a little hype-up speech or whatever. And he kind of pats him on the head, and he, like, jerks his head off to the side, like, don't touch me. I'm like, yo, I understand these diva receivers don't like when they're not involved in the game because he wasn't getting any passes. But it's like I can accept that kind of outburst from, like, Diggs had the same thing at the end of the game. I
forgot to bring that up.
They got smashed, and he's mad he's not getting the ball. I can let that go. You lost the game, tempers flare, whatever. You're up 32-7 or whatever it was, and your team is dominating. Like, that's not the place you should be over there pouting. I thought it was a bitch move.
They saying that he kind of got hurt on that play, or some play like before that or something like that. I'm not sure if it was true, but I seen like he had fucked his knee up or something, or some shit like that. I don't know. Maybe some bullshit.
Some Eagles fan on Twitter, I shared the video and I called him an asshole. I didn't want to call him a bitch, but I called him an asshole. And some Eagles fan that doesn't know me from anybody finds the tweet, responds to me, and he's like, nah, bro, he got hurt. He was just mad because his knees were hurt. And I was like, I guess that's possible. And he was like, nah, bro, I'm telling you, that's what happened. And we went back and forth after that. I was like, okay, bro, relax. But that is the story that I'm hearing people gaping for him with. Yeah. That doesn't make much sense to me with the whole getting mad at the coach. But
regardless, you shouldn't be on the fucking bench pouting when y'all blowing the team out, about to go to the next round.
Yeah, I mean, I need more context to it. Ultimately, I'm not gonna make it a big deal. It is what it is. You're going to throw that guy the ball next week.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's any lasting
touchdowns.
No.
That's all I'm trying to do. If I was them, just keep everything good with this motherfucker because he make plays.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah. Once the plays stop, then all of that shit got to stop too. You got to be a model citizen around this motherfucker. But until then, do your thing, AJ.
Nah, for sure. I think he'll eat next week for sure. But I don't like that.
I'm really excited for that matchup, man. I know we ain't getting to the preview exactly yet, but wow.
Yeah. Let's knock out this last game and get to it. Last game, Jags, Chiefs. It was first quarter that he got hurt? Or was it early in the second?
It was
I missed the first 3 quarters. I was still at work. I didn't start watching until like the 4th.
Mahomes gets his ankle rolled up on. Looked pretty nasty. He's down, gets hurt. Next play, they try to run it, and he can't even get to the outside to be able to hand it off. He's hobbling so bad. So they take him out of the game, and like at that point, legitimate concern that they might not be able to even win this game without him out there.
Well, even if they do, what happens next?
Yeah, still a concern.
Yeah, I mean, he was acting like it wasn't a big deal because of the way he kind of ran off the field and stuff, and he's like, just tape it up. Just come on. I'm like, yo, ain't nobody even checked this motherfucker's knee yet. Like, somebody needs to, like, confirm that he still has everything intact first or something. Like, he was just bypassing all of that stuff, but...
he had a fit when they took him out.
Yeah.
He had a fit when they told him no. He was like... Fuck no. I thought it was him in the coat.
I mean, I think it's the right call though, like, because you're like legitimately like hobbling out here. Like you can't. It looks like you can't even put pressure on your shit. Right. You know, for a long period of time.
Shout out to me betting over his 25 rushing yards in that game. I was like, oh, he hurt. He's never running again in this game.
Facts. Never running again. That was for sure. And it definitely changed his play. But he was still able to make some plays down the stretch.
Well, honestly, I mean, the turning point of the game, I don't remember what the score was, but it was still super close when he goes out with the injury, and then they bring in Chad Henne, and they had just received the punt on the 2-yard line. I believe it was a 2, inside the 5.
Yeah.
And Chad Henne walks him down the field 97 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, that's just momentum-wise to not let the team be panicked that we just lost Mahomes. That was huge.
That's deflating for the Jags. You got to think about, they probably would, what? You know, that's Mahomes down? Oh, shit, we got a chance.
This is our shot.
Mahomes? Is that Mahomes? So it's like
take him right down the field with no problem.
Dude, you know what I'm saying? Like you think he got a chance, and this dude come in and score a touchdown. That's almost like icing the game in a sense. Even though it was like super early, but still, it's like, damn, y'all chill out, bro. We got this. We gonna go ahead and take this week, and y'all go home on vacation and enjoy that. So that was impressive, man. But they still got pretty good weapons. Of course, Mahomes makes a big difference out there, but Chad Henne's a solid backup. He's been doing it for a long time.
He is.
If
Mahomes is not good enough, he's gonna play next week. But if Mahomes is hobbling the way he was in that game, I don't think they have a very good chance. I won't count him out, but
yeah, for sure.
I mean, if he's not able to play, even move. I mean, if he's not able to move at least halfway normal,
what makes Mahomes like super duper special is him like them off schedule plays, fucking crazy arm angles, throwing it off his back foot. Like you're not gonna be able to play exactly like that if he's if his ankle's not at least about 80%. But I'm sure I'll still take a hobble Mahomes over Chad Henne.
I would.
I mean, yeah, for sure. He's gonna fucking play. He finished the game, so you would assume that he'll play next week, but. I'm sure they'll do what I'm sure I wouldn't even practice him that much, heading up into it.
Hell no. He ain't doing nothing all week.
He's just all rehab, so we'll see how it goes. But what do y'all have any takeaways from the Jaguars?
They fought hard. They played a decent game. I mean, you can't really say they did too much bad. I mean, Chiefs are just better at the end of the day.
You see, it's real about how Chris Collinsworth was sucking Mahomes off and shit when he was talking about him. And you know that one play where Mahomes tried to, I guess he was trying to not throw an interception, and he threw the ball, and it was almost like a fumble. Yeah. Like he was trying to grab the ball back or whatever. And Chris Collinsworth was like, that was such a smart play by Mahomes. Awesome play. This was a great play. Just some crazy shit. And then the Trevor Lawrence play where he threw it was like a deep ball to Christian Kirk. And Christian Kirk just fucking drops it. It was a dime.
That was the play of the game.
And Chris Collinsworth was like, he just overthrew him. He's like, I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? Right there. This is a great ball.
It really was.
They're playing those back to back. It was like, yo, he's clearly favored in one quarterback over here. That. It's funny as shit. But yeah, I think, that's what kind of young teams do though. They don't make those plays yet. Maybe they'll do it in the future. Maybe they won't. But that's kind of what you got to do, especially going up there and playing against Kansas City. Hey. That would have changed the game for them.
Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence can walk off and end this season with their head held high.
For sure.
They was not supposed to be here, and they are. And they lost to the Chiefs, the best team in the AFC. What can you you know what I'm saying? Shit happens.
Why were they not supposed to be here though?
Because they had one
from the beginning of the season, I assume you're talking about, right? Yeah. It was not any expectation.
Halfway through the season, they had the worst record. They flipped that shit around.
I thought it would be hard.
You didn't have them making the playoffs. You just had them having 7 wins. Let's keep it at that.
I called 9, bro. I called 9.
I don't remember.
I mean, y'all was
we made the bet at that, but I called 9.
But they didn't get that either. I think did they have it?
No, 9-8. 9-8.
Was it 8-8?
They're 9-8.
9-8.
Yeah, because they ended up beating Titans at the last week. not that this is like any kind of strong take, but for real, Kelce was the MVP of that game. 14 catches. And they were doing everything that they possibly could. I mean, there was times that they had him doubled, and he still just puts a quick little move.
He's just the shiftiest guy in the world.
It was just ridiculous. I didn't realize that late in the game that he had 14 catches.
I didn't know that either.
I was like, bro, I know he's phenomenal.
I remember him catching a lot of balls and shit, but like, man, that dude is. I know. Look, Gronk is the greatest tight end of all time. Speaking of all around tight ends, especially in the red zone. But man, you talking about just a third down. Got to get open. I might choose Travis Kelce over anybody, tight end or wide receiver.
I don't think that's the wrong answer there.
Yeah,
go with Gronk or Kelce would be cool.
Yeah, I'm just saying like over anybody though. I mean, like
I was thinking about that during the game.
So good.
Like I wonder where he would rank if you ranked him amongst receivers. Like when we have these top 10 discussions and stuff, like I think it would be incredibly high that you're like, honestly, I think I'd rather have Kelce than this receiver.
I would rather have crazy. Kelce. You know he's going to get open in the middle of the field. He's a sure-handed guy. And the yak is crazy for a dude who's not really fast. You know, he just runs around people, you know?
He's deceptively fast, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying
he doesn't look fast because he's so fucking big.
Yeah,
he be moving.
Yeah, he gets to his places when he needs to, but he ain't going. He's not a burner type of dude.
Sure, yeah.
But you don't expect that from a tight end traditionally anyway. But man, the shiftiness though, like the stop start, is crazy.
Yeah, got the footwork, route running, down pat.
Agreed.
Yeah, you can just have any quarterback back there. You got a guy like that.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right, let's get to next week. Little preview.
Yeah.
Niners, Eagles is going to be the first game next Sunday.
That's going to be great.
That's the one, man.
That's going to be great.
I don't want to like overreact to what they did to the Giants because the Niners are not the Giants.
Yeah.
But it's hard to, after this weekend, it's hard for me to see the Eagles not winning that game.
It's going to be very
I just think their defense, as good as Dallas's defense was, the Eagles are going to be way better than that. And I think this will be where you see the Purdy just not be able to overcome. He may not have a terrible game, but I just don't think he will be able to get the job done. And Niners are going to play good defense, but the Eagles' offense is too good to keep from scoring some points. I think the Eagles win this game.
Yeah, I mean. Honestly, from the beginning of the season, I thought the Eagles was a sneaky Super Bowl team. They proved that at the beginning of the year. They sustained that in the middle of the season. And, I mean, they continue to be the best team in the league. I don't think anything's going to change. I got them winning that game. But, San Fran's built similar to the Eagles. They got a good defense, too. But I think the Eagles just got overall better talent, pound for pound. So I'll take them.
I agree. I mean, I guess it's going to have to be a unanimous decision for the MAC. We've seen the Eagles win in every single way possible this season. So however this game plays out, I think the Eagles will come out victorious at the end of the day just because they find ways to win. No matter how the game goes, if they get stopped, they're going to run the ball well, and then they're going to get down the field somehow. They're going to get this dub. However it plays out, I don't know if they're necessarily going to blow them out, which is very possible, but they're going to get the dub.
I don't think they'll be able to blow them out just because the Niners defense, I think, will hold their own regardless. But sure. I think another thing to keep a monitor on is they kept showing McCaffrey doing stuff with his calf last game, and he didn't play really at all in the fourth quarter except when they needed a third down. He'd come out there and do what they needed to. Yeah. I don't know if they were being overprotective or if that's something that could be a real concern, but that would be a big problem.
I can see this being like one of those 24-13 kind of games.
I was going to say 24-16.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaning towards. They're not going to run it up, but I think for the most part, especially late, the Eagles will pull away and make it seem like it was a comfortable win. But it might be like 14-13 for the bulk of the second half or something like that. Yeah. Both defenses, I think, will show up for sure.
Agree. I also think both defenses show up in the late game, which is going to be weird with all the high-powered offenses, but I think Mahomes is going to be severely hobbled, and I don't think that the Bengals line will be able to hold up super strong another week. I think the Bengals are going to win this game, but I think it will be a lot lower scoring than we would expect.
Yeah.
23-17.
I don't know if I see a low scoring game or not. But you got to look at it and be honest. Even with the healthy Mahomes, the Bengals are a better team. They just are. I think they're better defensively overall. You know, I like a lot of their defensive players that they have. You know, Henderson, Mike Hilton, Logan Wilson. I talk about him a lot. I think he's like a super underrated linebacker in the league. I really got the Bengals probably not dominate necessarily, but I got them winning. I'll say 31. Bengals 31-27.
Jeez.
I hope we get a high scoring game. It'd be a lot more fun, but
Yeah, that'd be great to see. Y'all know how I feel about Burrow.
and we know how you feel about Mahomes.
You know how I feel about Mahomes too. Considerably, the Bengals have had the Chiefs' numbers in the playoffs. They've been getting them
In
up
the
out of
regular
there.
season too.
Regular season too. They've been getting them up out of there, bro. Been getting them
own
out
the
the way.
Chiefs.
With Mahomes being hurt, it makes it tough because that defense was on Josh Allen's ass last week or the other day. So I think they're gonna do the same with Mahomes, especially knowing that he hurt. They're gonna try to pressure him a lot during the game, and they should get the dub. They should get the dub. Mahomes was healthy. I would think Mahomes will overcome the Bengals at this point. I think like he would take his game to another level, try to get that dub, and not lose to them again. But with him being hurt, it's hard to see that the Bengals won't be on his ass. They're going to get that dub. Their run game, Mixon playing well, Jamar Chase. I mean, Joe, that dude, he about to go to back-to-back Super Bowls.
And, this is why we're in the dark ages. Just to spin it back there.
Oh, because
We're
you
going
mad
to see back-to-back Super Bowls from the fucking Bungles.
Okay.
This
You can't call him that no more, bro.
I can call them whatever the fuck I want, and they're always going to be the
You can't
Bungles
call
to
him
me.
that no more, bro.
But look, I mean, that's just honest, though. I mean, you know, I think they're going to make it, but I do also think, though, regardless of who wins in the NFC, they would beat the Bengals because of the matchup issue, defensive line versus offensive line, or just defense versus offense in general from both of those teams. I feel like, I mean, we watched how the Ravens kind of really held them in check, and that was a formidable defense. So,
yeah, no, it won't. If the Bengals make the Super Bowl, I feel bad for Burrow because I think it's going to be similar to what happened last year, where
Rams.
he's going to have
no
chance.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
Last year,
NFC is the Super Bowl champion this year, in my opinion. No matter who wins either game, I don't care who plays.
So yeah, we'll see how it plays out, and you know, this
I was just thinking the same.
This could be a great thing for the Bengals and also a great thing for us because it's going to be like, yeah, the Bengals are really successful, but they're almost like the Bills of the 90s, you know? Just that's what
good spin
I'll take that.
For sure.
I'll take that, you know?
I would spin it that way if I was a Steelers fan, 100%.
Even though the Bills are still the Bills. They still
haven't changed.
But
fantastic.
I think it's funny how all the best quarterbacks are in the AFC, but all the best defenses are in the NFC. So it's all going to come down to the better defense in the Super Bowl. Most of the time, it's usually whoever has the better defense wins. So AFC is going to run into this every season. It seems like it's going to be one of these defenses.
I think if either team in the AFC didn't have the injury issues that we're concerned with right now,
right.
I don't think it would be a problem.
Right.
If it's a fully healthy Mahomes, you could put a great defense out there. I still think he would be able to at least have a chance to win. Same thing with Burrow. If he didn't have these three offensive linemen go down the last couple of weeks, I would have faith that the Bengals could win. But I thought you were going to say that we talked all year about how weak the NFC was. They had two good teams, and the AFC is just stacked. And now that we've gotten to here, like at least the two of us, I don't know if you're on the same page. Are you thinking NFC wins this no matter what?
I don't know yet. I'll save that for when we get there. I'll save that for when we get there. But it would look that it would seem that way just because of those two defenses that's going to be in there. One of the two. It's going to be tough.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough battle.
And it's scary, though, because you would think, though, that, you know, the Bengals would be the most experienced team in that situation, that they would do it. And it's very possible they could. But I'm just holding out hope at this point.
By the way, I do have Hurts in my top 5 QBs right now because he's the best one in the NFC. All the other best ones are in the AFC side. Like, I was looking at it, I was like, who else could we put in this conversation in the NFC?
I think for this year, I would easily have him top 5 for this year.
Yeah, currently.
I'm not ready to go beyond that.
Who's the MVP? I don't know.
I think it's still Mahomes.
I think it's Mahomes easily.
Yeah, his stats were too big, and once Hurts missed the last few games, it just took him out of the running. I think those were the only 2 options.
How many touchdowns Mahomes throw this year?
I don't remember.
It's like,
but he was way ahead in yards, touchdowns.
Yeah, 5,200 yards. I know that, but I can't remember how many
45?
touchdowns. Something. It was a big
I feel like it was 45.
That
might be too high.
I don't know.
I'm trying to look real quick.
Especially for
41.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, to a dude who lost his number 1 wide receiver, you come back and throw 41 touchdowns. I would have been cool with 32.
I told you they would be more dangerous without Tyreek Hill because you don't know who to focus on. He can let any of his guys go off any game with him.
Yeah. I mean, he has the constant. So
and this isn't related to Mahomes, but I'm a huge Pacheco guy. I love that dude. I love that dude. He looks so tiny that he's dumb fast. But it just shocks me every game.
Physicality.
The physicality he brings is still there as if he's not 5'10" and whatever he is.
Yeah. And 95 running back.
He runs hard.
What happened to Hilaire?
He got hurt.
He's a bust.
But they clearly had he clearly just got passed.
When they drafted him, I was like, man, to me, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire he's like the same size as Pacheco, but he's slow. He's like, so I'm like, why would you draft a guy that, that small and, that early that can't like bust a 60-yard touchdown or something? It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's a bust.
You have been on that from the jump, I will say.
Yes, indeed.
But there's a lot of football. We got
for sure
35-ish minutes left. Let's get moving into some of the other stuff. Do you want to touch Ed Reed's situation before we go fully off of football?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Shout out to Ed Reed, man. So apparently Bethune Cookman forced him out to withdraw his, I guess, application to be the head coach or some shit like that. But they made it out like he was withdrawing himself from the situation, which he won't. He went live in, I guess, the players' conference room or whatever, talking about it, pissed off, felt like they did him dirty, which they did, was going off about it. I mean, because he was addressing all the issues that's going on with HBCUs, and he was trying to fix it. So for them to, like, not have him be their head coach, he said he had, like, 30 recruits coming in. Like, that's money for the college. You got 30 recruits coming in to be a part of this team, all because Ed Reed is y'all's coach, and then you're going to fire him. That's making your school look even worse. Like, why would you even do that? But I get it. I mean, I don't get it why they fired him, but this is the issue with HBCUs and why they won't progress and be better because they don't treat the people that they bring in like they should.
I mean, to me, this is just I don't think you can say it's anything other than ego. Like, he hurt the feelings of whoever's up at the top in charge by calling him out. If this was 10 years ago, I think a head coach going on live and like cussing and stuff the way he would be looked at differently. But like nowadays, it's not a big thing. Like, people don't get real uptight about language and stuff like that, even from the head coach. Like, it's not a big thing. So I don't know what else you could point towards that he did that would have been wrong. He said things and called them out, and they didn't like it. So they're like, forget you. We don't need you as a head coach. This is crazy. Crazy
much.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably better off. Go ahead and get you an XFL or USFL job, for the summer.
Colorado.
Go ahead to Colorado.
That's got a job for
coach up some safeties. You can be a special teams coordinator or something,
Got the number one quarterback in the country come in, like, come on.
I kick back, man. You save your headache there. Working with the kids is great, but you could do some charities and something like that on the side. You don't have to put up with that kind of shit. But one thing, I do think he could have addressed the situation better, though. I don't think that's the way a head coach should address the situation. Is popping on live. I get that he was frustrated, but that gives me more I'm fit to be a coordinator vibe than a head coach of a program.
A little bit unprofessional.
Yeah, right. That's all I'm saying in that way. Like, yeah, you keep yourself mild mannered. You can still break down and tell a story about what happened, but I don't know. I don't think it was the best look for Ed Reed overall doing it that way. So yeah,
it just seemed like it would, I feel like it would be different if that's a big school. If that's a big school, if that's Miami or something, they just hired him and he's doing something unprofessional like that. I could see there being a backlash. I could see that happening. If you're Bethune Cookman, is that the name?
Mm-hmm. BCU.
You got to take the gift that has been given to you. This is a man that can legitimately change the program.
This is your guy,
just off of his name alone is going to be a much more elevated than whatever you've had before. Like it's just wild.
No one has spoken about your school ever.
No.
Until the past 2 weeks. And you firing the guy that is bringing your school all this attention is retarded. Do y'all want to stay in the same place or do y'all want to prevail and have success? That's what it comes down to. Obviously, y'all want to stay being ass.
I just wonder how it works of him, getting down there and not having a contract. Because apparently it was nothing like no actual contract signed, right?
That's why I wasn't fired.
Why would I be down here doing anything?
He was trying to make a change.
Yeah,
I think he was purely doing it for the kids. He got the recruits to come. He said he got his own nephew to transfer over there.
I mean, why would you do all that without a contract, though?
I
think it's just I would assume from his perspective, it's just like a good faith thing in that we've hammered out the details. We have a deal in place. Let me go get a jump start on this, just assuming that they're not going to just yank it out. I mean, clearly you can look back now and be like,
I wouldn't do anything
that wasn't, you're not protected. So you put a big risk on yourself as far as like wasting your time or whatever. But I think it's just good intentions. He's like, we got a deal. Let me go ahead and get this going. I don't know. It is weird.
I would tell him I don't want anything. I'll pay to get into the girls' basketball game. You don't have to give me anything or any kind of privileges or anything like that until we get this contract signed. That's
a little bit hard.
I would do it.
Yep.
I don't know. Weird.
No doubt. Well, I don't know. Not a great transition, but we got Mr. Shannon Sharpe, a bit unprofessional on the sidelines at the Lakers-Grizzly game. Turned into a big commotion, big uproar here with that night. That was kind of fun that night.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think? He gets into a Dylan Brooks?
Immediately after that happened, ESPN was on his ass to get his response. And his response to the reporter was, they ain't want this smoke, Dave. They do all that talking and jockeying, and I ain't about that jockeying. I started with Dylan Brooks. He said I said he was too small to guard LeBron. He said, fuck me. So I said, fuck you back. He started to come at me, and I said, you don't want these problems. And then John came out there out of nowhere talking. He definitely ain't want these problems. Then the dad came over, and he obviously ain't want no problems. But I wanted anything they had. Don't let these fools fool you now. Like, damn, shit.
He was hot.
He was fired up.
He was still hot.
I mean, all cool, whatever. But I don't know. I hate to see it. Enjoy the game, Shannon. That's what you're there. You're not one of the players on the floor anymore. I get that somebody was talking shit to you or whatever. And the players should really just ignore them. You shouldn't be talking back and forth with anybody that's in attendance, especially if they ain't saying nothing that's like extremely disrespectful. The rest of it is just normal basketball trash talk. Well, he's saying that you can't guard LeBron. Welcome to the list, motherfucker. He's done this for 20 years. That's not an insult. I'm on the floor with LeBron.
Yeah.
Pat on the back for me. Like that. I don't get how that could get under somebody's skin. They should have ignored him to begin with. But Shannon shouldn't have. You disrupting the game, dog. Ultimately,
this game has nothing to do with you.
The camera's on you for all the wrong reasons right now.
Of course, he went right on Undisputed the next morning and apologized. Opened the show with an apology saying he handled himself disrespect. He shouldn't have handled himself that way. He brought more attention to him than the actual game, what was going on, all this, that, and the third. So he apologized. He knew he was wrong for how he was carrying on. But this goes to like my issue with, I'm big on Ja. I fuck with Memphis and what they've been doing.
Let's get to it.
But Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane and all of them, they are adopting the mentality of Ja when those guys ain't that. I get You gonna follow in the lead of your leader, who is Ja. He pop shit. He's real. He gonna dance on the floor. He gonna get his shit off. So your team gonna adopt that habits about being like that. But
not all of them.
This week, that a clip of LeBron and Desmond Bain has been circulating around where Desmond Bain was talking a little shit, and he was like, "Yo, I don't play that shit. Like, this is the last time you're gonna be talking to me like that. You hit a couple shots, then you can pop shit. Like, I don't play that. Like, I fuck with that shit right there. Like, sometimes you gotta put people in their place. I wish Bron would do that shit more. That's like that Kobe.
Then he came
that's
down
that
and
Kobe
dunked
shit
on
that
dude.
It was such a bully
Yeah,
play.
it's one of them just like
He got the ball the whole time dribbling down the court. He was never going anywhere but straight
Right
line
to
to
the
the basket. Call me for a charge. I don't give a fuck. I'm running over somebody.
I'm jamming on you. Ain't nothing none of y'all could do about that shit because I'm fucking LeBron. I fuck with that. I wish LeBron would show that side a lot more in his older age in the league because I feel like he's always been like the friendly. I fuck with everybody. I'm cool. I'm gonna be the OG to everybody in the league than these young boys. But when you got Desmond Bain popping shit to you, like, yeah, you can shoot a little bit, but you shouldn't be talking to me like this. Like, who is you talking to right now?
I got a weird. I'm torn on the Grizzlies because I think they are that. I think Dylan Brooks is that guy.
They talk shit.
He doesn't have the talent that Ja has, but he is that dude. He is an irritant and always has been.
Yeah.
He's looking to get under dudes' skins, get in people's face.
Yeah.
I think the same thing with Steven Adams does it in a different way, but he does his own intimidation shit.
Yeah.
Like their whole team is built that way. I think that's why they play so well together. Mm-hmm. I also think it makes them annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
And as much as I have liked them over the past couple of years, like they're the cool underdog story.
Turn into the villain.
After a couple of years, it's like, all right, it's getting annoying now. And when every team has a problem with you, it's like y'all are the assholes.
Yeah,
they
pop a lot of shit to them.
They talk way too much.
They pop a lot of shit, and I get it. Y'all came in strong.
They got T.O.
Hey, how do you feel about T? Do you have any LeVar Ball like hate towards him?
Yes, in the sense that I think what he does is equally annoying, and I think he has taken his small moment where he would get kind of recognized on the sideline at playoff games, like, look how cool it is that Ja's dad is at the game every time. Yeah. But now he's become part of the narrative where he wants to be a part of it. He didn't have nothing to do to go over there and get in mess with Shannon Sharpe. He wasn't gonna do shit, but he saw an opportunity to. No, I do feel the same way about that. I think he's not quite as bad as LeVar because he went next level, but
he's not a talk show.
It's the same concept.
It
is the same concept. It's the parent that gets a little celebrity attention and then turns into like, I like this attention. I'm not a fan of that shit. Nah, I don't like that. But criticism on LeBron and Draymond, and there's a few other people that are soft as shit, constantly getting fans thrown out of the game for talking reckless to them. And LeBron had no problem with what Shannon was doing. He's like, Shannon, that's my guy.
Yeah, he did.
Back him 365 days, 366. Nah, I feel you. I would have backed him up too if that shit got
holding him down.
He can say what he wants. But he is quick to get somebody thrown out. I don't like the way they're talking to me, but has nothing to say about Shannon going nuts over there on the sideline.
Shannon got to be his guy, but I fuck with them throwing fans out. Sometimes you got to throw a fan out. Like, you got to understand.
They got to be saying the N-word for me to say it's cool to toss.
Right. If it's
everything regular, else, get out of here.
You suck, or that type of stuff.
I don't think it'd be that low level shit that people be doing though.
I think people are nasty.
Disrespectful shit.
People are nasty.
Coming up with some shit.
For sure. If it's not racial though, I'm not throwing them out.
I mean, you can't talk about like somebody's wife and shit either.
It was one time they were saying shit about his son and shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
They were disrespecting his son and shit on the court.
That's fair. Like, chill out.
Really,
I should be whooping your ass right now.
That's fair.
But if you're just talking about me as a player, all of that shit that can fly.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fine.
Agreed. All right. Well, anyway, enough Shannon Sharpe. Funny little thing. I don't think it was that serious. I thought his apology was really good. Thought he took ownership well.
Yeah, he speaks well. He's gonna take accountability.
No doubt.
Yeah, letting off that skip frustration on Team Morant and shit.
And I mean, the Lakers won, so he did something.
He did.
You could probably say he did something.
Get the dub. That was not even going to get into it. That was a bad one. That one hurt me. I don't know what there is to say about this, but I've been deep diving nerd shit, advanced stats, on Jokic. I don't want to say nothing too crazy. I don't like the hot takes, but
I'll do it.
I think
he's back-to-back MVP. I mean,
I think by the end of his career, there could be an argument that not that he's the greatest ever. I'm not going there, but it's gonna. I want to say best, but what I mean is the most efficient player to ever play the game. The numbers he puts up are obviously ridiculous. We know that. But I was looking at his numbers compared to, is a tough comparison, but he's about to average a triple-double this year. He's at like 9.9 assists. I was looking at his numbers compared to Westbrook's numbers when he averaged the triple-doubles. And the usage rating, about the amount of time that they have the ball in their hands.
So it's a huge difference.
Jokic is so... It's not small because obviously to get all those stats, you got to have it.
Right.
The usage is measured in like how many plays end in a possession that you scored or assisted on. But the amount of time that he has the ball is just so much drastically less. And his like efficiency, the way he shoots like 70%.
That's because he's not the point guard.
Yeah, no, 100%.
As much yet.
I mean, isn't he only like one of three players to like average 25 points and score like 70% or something like that in like
probably
NBA history?
But like the way he shoots, he's not even taking just dunks. Like he doesn't have a Shaq game. He pulls up from 20 feet and stuff. He's not a great 3-point shooter, but he'll take them. But the shots he makes, he shouldn't shoot that high a percentage on. And
the skill,
player efficiency rating, you got to look that up on some nerd shit to like see exactly how they come up with it. I'm sure it's the two highest in NBA history. I mean, Jordan is obviously has a couple seasons where he's in that top 3, top 4, top 5 category, but the top 2 are both Jokic. His game is just incredible to me.
Is he like, I don't know, kind of like Tim Duncan-ish? But I know they play kind of different games a bit.
A little bit.
Like fundamentalist.
Duncan was such a great defender. It's tough to
style.
Yeah. But
and you know, Duncan wasn't necessarily known to be the passer and kind of
good, but not
right. He wasn't a facilitator the way I guess you could describe Jokic, but just like the fundamentalist or like the evolution of the game, new version.
That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Like new version of Duncan would be.
I was listening to is Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye have a podcast. I'm gonna have to start checking them out more. They had like a 10-minute conversation. They were hilarious together because they're both really cool, but like with each other. But they were going hard on this argument. It's like, bitch, shut up. There's no way that it's just going back and forth. But they were having the discussion, Giannis or Joker as the best player in the world right now. And as I was listening to them talking stats and stuff, I was just blown away.
Yeah. I mean, he's
back-to-back MVP for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
If he doesn't get it this year, it's simply because they want to switch it up.
Yeah.
He's had, well, I know you don't like that you're a Tatum guy, but I think Jokic is the clear MVP this year. So
I mean,
far.
the numbers and they number 1 in the West. Right. It's you can't compete with that shit.
This is a guy
nobody else puts up those numbers.
We look at and you probably say he might not ever win a championship.
Well,
right.
It depends on how this year goes. And not that this could be the only year, but this would be the first time that they've never been a top seed. They've usually been like a 4 or 5 kind of thing. It's not that surprising when they get knocked out before the conference finals and stuff. So if they go in as a number 1 seed this year and still underachieve, at that point it will like definitely take a hit on his like legacy champion kind of thing.
And it's technically their first season where they got everybody healthy.
Yeah.
They got Michael Porter Jr. He's been playing well. Jamal Murray, we already know what he about. They got guys Aaron Gordon has had one of his best seasons this year. When you got your starting lineup playing on that level, like there's a reason why they're the number 1 seed right now. I think they'll hold on to it, barring injury.
Yeah.
But
a lot of injury prone guys.
This would be the best year that they would have a chance of going to the finals for sure. I would think.
Okay, well, we'll see.
We shall see. Yeah. Got a couple rap categories?
Rap categories? Oh, yeah.
Enough sports? Get into some hip-hop?
21-100 was on Clubhouse again. Going back and forth with some random gangsters. Got a little heated, and then it got to the point where, I think he was talking to some people from Chicago, I think, and basically said like, man, what y'all, man, every time I hear about y'all dying. Y'all stay dying up that joint or some shit like that. And dude was like, yeah, what you mean? Like, what you mean? You ain't never had nobody die? What you mean? You in the streets? He was like, no, we do the killing. We do the killing there. We be doing the killing. My people don't be dying or some shit like that. He's like, I got people up there right now that can handle y'all. So he was going crazy. I was like, yo, 21, you wildin'.
He said something about like smoking 30 people or something.
Yeah,
Like,
I know people that smoke like 30 people up that joint. They're like, what? I'm like, yo, 21. You've shown that you have a very high intelligence on speaking and having your points off. But talking about bodies that you and your people got and people that you know that can get bodies on somebody right now over Clubhouse for everybody to hear, it's not smart, my guy. It's not a smart move to do.
These pissing matches. It's like, that's why, you know, none of these guys are gangster. None of y'all guys are gangster. And it's funny because I just watched the clip.
I don't know. I think 21 really came from that life.
Top boy? No, he's not, bro. I'm just saying.
We're not doing that.
He's not. Don't believe these rappers like that. Like, but anyway, like I just watched a clip of him talking on a podcast saying like a lot of these rappers ain't, or a lot of these people ain't gangster. They just stupid. Like you just doing dumb stuff. You're not gangster. You just willing to do some stupid shit. Ain't nobody else. Like that's what you're pretty much saying. That's stupid. That's not gangster, bro. Talking on Clubhouse about what you could do or would do or should do to somebody millions of miles away from you. That's not gangster. That's stupid.
It was
Take
stupid,
your own advice.
But at the same time, I think he was dead ass about the shit that he was talking about. So it was stupid to talk about it on Clubhouse.
So was a 12-year-old over the game when you playing fucking Call of Duty. I'll kill you, motherfucker. Like they're serious about it too. It's not gangster, bro. Face to face is not. No. Somebody would beat 21 Savage about 21
in the streets and the neighborhood he was from. They was real. Same thing. Same thing. Thug and them was from the same type of shit. Like they was really in that shit. I don't think it's a facade or he just talking just to be talking. Even though he shouldn't be talking about it. But I think it's true.
I don't think none of these people gangster like they say they are, especially. I mean,
it's a small percentage, but I think he's in that small percentage.
Yeah, whether it was or not is retarded either way.
Yeah,
it's stupid to be getting into that. It kind of reminded, like, when you hear him talk, I don't want to say a lot, but when he talks and he's in a calm environment and stuff, he seems really intelligent. Mm-hmm. And he seems like he's kind of recognized, some things are stupid to be a part of, stupid to get into. He seems to have a solid head on his shoulders. It reminded me similar to Shannon's situation, just in that when you listen to Shannon Sharpe talk on ESPN, he has really great points and is like really intelligent with the way he thinks about things. Mm-hmm. Once you get under somebody's skin and you get emotional and you're like screaming about stuff,
so
you just come out of character and act in a way that is dumb for the moment. Hopefully he realizes that and doesn't continue to do this, but I don't know why he keeps getting on there knowing that people are going to try to trigger him.
That's true. Yeah.
What's on Clubhouse?
He needs to stay off Clubhouse.
The only person.
What's the fuck on Clubhouse?
21.
Yeah,
21 whack 100.
That's it.
They bodying that shit. Literally.
I don't get it.
What's the interest of being on the phone with a bunch of motherfuckers for hours at a time?
Everybody can just talk. Everybody's just talking over each other. You're not even having like dope conversations.
Yeah, who wants this? This is crazy.
I don't get it.
Hey, it's the way they fucking with, but they need to get the hell up off of there. Best if you're gonna be talking like that.
Right.
For sure.
Did y'all see that track list that Trippie Redd had?
I did.
No.
I know you hate Trippie Redd. I do too.
Not a fan.
I'm not a fan, no.
I don't like him. Anytime
he got some clout in the industry though. Like people fuck with him.
The track list is loaded.
Yeah, you got everybody.
I'm gonna have to listen to it, at least a couple tracks. But I didn't get to listen to it. That came out right this past week.
He's had some decent songs that I was like, I don't mind it, but he's a weird dude. I can't do the goth rap. I can't
goth rap.
I can't extend to that
lane.
I'm good.
I did listen to that single with Future and Lil Baby. It has to be the worst Lil Baby verse I've ever heard in my life.
Oh yeah,
that shit was horrible. That shit was horrible.
I definitely gotta check that out.
What single?
Fully Loaded, featuring Future and Lil Baby, Trippie Redd joint. I think it's like the single from his album, but
we should do a song reaction.
I mean, hey, we ain't did one in a while.
That'll be the last thing we got time for.
If we ain't got time, then we can keep.
Do we have anything else to talk about?
Not anything important. I'm down to do it if you want.
Okay.
All right, well, let's do that. We reacting then. What's the song? Fully loaded, Trippie Redd, Future, and Lil Baby.
Yes, indeed.
Wow, let's do it.
That was something.
That was something. Beat was hard as fuck.
I like the song overall. Fully loaded. Fully loaded. That's tight.
It was a hard song.
Sound like an old Future song to me.
Yeah, that beat. Yeah,
pretty much like the way the hook was going and stuff like that. And I knew Future's verse was gonna be decent. Baby's verse just sounded like a throwaway verse to me.
That was terrible.
What did he say?
I couldn't understand anything he said. Look, I can pick up on mumble rap pretty decent nowadays.
Yeah.
He sounded like he had a whole cheeseburger in his mouth. He was just eating it and trying to rap at the same time. That was terrible.
The fucked up thing is, like, I heard everything he said.
Yeah, well, but you got practice with your boy.
People want to get on him for not switching, or you want to get on him for not switching. He switched it up. I would say that. You at least got to say that.
Go back.
Yeah, don't switch it up to that.
Go back to
that was a switch up.
That was horrible.
But no, I think that was one of them homeboy, like, all right, I'll do something for you real quick. Here you go. Sit the back in 5 minutes, just to say that you got Lil Baby on the track.
Yeah, quick little 12.
Yeah. Cool song, though. Cool
Trash the whole song. Just keep Future. Give it to Future. Let Future have the song.
Let Future on that.
That hook was terrible. That Trippie Redd verse was terrible. That was awful. That was awful.
Yeah, I don't fuck with Trippie Redd like that.
I'm not a fan.
Fucked up thing. He sound like a fake 6ix9ine on that one, but he's like the original 6ix9ine. So it's like, it's fucked up to call him that.
Yeah, they kind of came up at the same time.
Yeah. It's like, how angry does this motherfucker have to be, really, when he saw that kind of success from 6ix9ine? Like, man, fuck this dude, man.
He does a lot of devil shit, too. 666 is all over the place. I don't mess with Trippie Redd.
Oh, no, not at all.
Too much for me. Too much.
Not at all. No.
Speaking of 6ix9ine, do you have any thoughts on Funk Flex saying he's no longer boycotting 6ix9ine's music? He said everybody's a snitch after Gunner, so he doesn't even care anymore.
It's a good time to do it because he ain't making no music. Ain't nothing to boycott.
He should test it. He should test it right now. If he's ever going to try music again, send that shit straight to Flex and see if he'll just troll people and let the music out.
That'd be funny. I mean, I guess I get the premise of what he was trying to say. Everybody's snitching now, so who cares if he snitched? Like, but still, like, I mean, he's not good.
Man,
he's not making good music anymore. Like, maybe at the height, if you had the stands, I'ma still play. He still got joints rocking. Then it would have been something to stand on. But the fact that he ain't put out no music in a year or whatever, however long it's been. Oh, okay. Take him off the band list. Not have no songs still.
Nobody cares, man. Nobody cares about that shit.
I think it was just a nice little troll job.
T.I.'s had a long career. What can I say?
I mean, come on. I'm not putting T.I. in this
Nobody cares, bro.
Not doing that.
Any other hip-hop stuff? There's one more.
I heard an interesting song that I kind of liked that I would never think I would like. It's a Macklemore record. He put out, produced by DJ Premier.
I didn't listen to it, but
that shit was kind of hard. Of course, DJ Premier gonna have one of them, hip hop type of beats. And he was spitting. He won't like sounding off beat and shit. He was rapping on that shit. I was like, oh, it's just solid record. I wasn't mad at it.
I wish he never did the Kendrick Text thing because that was when the whole world turned on him. I understand that he wouldn't be everybody's cup of tea. I don't think he's the greatest or nothing like that, but I think he had good music and he is like
he has some hits.
He's good at what he does.
Yeah.
But as soon as that happened from then on, like you don't even hear about him because it's like if you say that you listen to Macklemore, it's just a laugh. It's just a joke. So he really fucked himself hard. But I didn't listen to that song. I'm curious though.
It was pretty solid. It was pretty solid. I fuck with that.
That's fine.
I ain't mad at it. To not be a fan.
I've never listened and will never listen to Macklemore.
No, you done heard his hits when he was at his height. You done heard them before. You may not put them on, but you done heard them.
I mean, I probably know a song, but it's something that I would skip if it came on.
Understood. Yeah.
I just didn't. I don't listen to Macklemore.
He robbed Good Kid, Mad City. That's all I remember from him. That was the greatest album that year. What y'all talking about?
A good bad night for him.
Facts.
You gotta be hyped to get the dub, but it literally ended your career.
He might be the first to
was it worth it?
To have a downfall after winning a Grammy.
Might be.
It's
Yeah,
Grammy
yeah, it
music,
was.
right?
That was the controversy.
Yeah, usually after you win a Grammy, it propels your career, and he just disappeared afterwards. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, man, I think that's all I got. Not a lot of music dropping still. You know, we're still in the early stages. Maybe like end of February, going into March, start getting some more artists putting some shit out. But
I kind of appreciate it right now because I still don't really care to listen to anything new. I've been busy and just don't feel like listening to new music. I just keep listening to old stuff. So at least I'm not missing out right now.
Yeah.
I missed out on a lot the last 6 months of last year.
Yeah,
I know that there's
tapped out.
good music. I have been.
I'm back on my Pac shit. Heavy.
Okay.
Never a bad choice.
He's a god, man. For sure.
Machiavelli.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing else. I ain't gonna force the last 5 minutes here. We can wrap a little bit early.
Yeah.
We come back to words of wisdom after. We got 2 samples for you. I slacked. It's on me. My bad. We got 2 samples coming. If you're on the YouTube, we appreciate you watching. We will be back next week to cover those championship games. Give it a little. Well, I guess we'll have 2 weeks to do Super Bowl promo or preview, but we'll have some stuff for you next week.
We'll go live for a game. I know what y'all doing on Sunday.
Maybe though.
One of these.
Live
Might be able to do that. Might be able to do that.
We'll see.
See how it works out.
Yeah, we don't want no promises, but
No
we're
problems.
considering.
Just
We're
a thought to throw out there. Something we ain't never done before.
kicking the ball around a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, well, stay tuned for these samples. We appreciate you on YouTube. Peace.
Peace.